Joining us now is congressional candidate for California's 8th District, James Ellers. Welcome to the Jam Report.
Thank you, John and Emma. Thank you for having me.
Very glad to have you on. So let's start off with the beginnings, basically. We saw that on your website, it said that you had never planned on running for office, which I think is how most people approach that sort of thing. So what was the turning point?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in this area. I grew up in a family of 6 kids in a working class family. And growing up, now I have my own kids and my own family, and I want the best for them. So looking at our local politics, we are known, I've learned this, we're known as the state legislator as the forgotten people. So this is an area that doesn't get a lot of attention. In terms of our congressman, he's absent most of the time. And a few months ago, I found out that he's actually not running again. So I was looking at, okay, who can I get excited about? Who can give us some energy to get some stuff done? And I was looking at the candidates, and on the Republican side, there's 2 people that are fighting over who is the Trump Republican, and on the Democrat side, there was someone that is not very specific with policies, pretty vague, and they're accepting money from 30 different corporations. So when looking at the whole picture, I'm like, okay, if I want to make an improvement in this area, if I want to make a better future for my kids, right now the choices aren't very good, so I need to run. So that's how I got to that point.
So I've seen you're a vocal supporter of a former candidate, Andrew Yang.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, what are some of the components of Andrew Yang's platform that he ran on that you would want to work on as a congressman?
Yeah, so this is a great question, and it's something that the Yang Gang's very adamant about. Personally, I feel like democracy dollars is even more important than UBI, because right now, many of our areas are just overrun with corporate money to the point where nothing's getting done for our people, and there's only things getting done for corporate interests. So democracy dollars, for those of you that don't know, democracy dollars is a program that we would give every American $100 a year to be able to donate to the candidate of their choice. So the plan is with democracy dollars is to flush corporate money out of politics. That way we can get more people in there that actually care about the people and what's going on in the area versus corporate interests. So as you know, Andrew Yang has a ton of policies, a ton of awesome policies. Right now, again, one thing that inspired me to run is definitely democracy dollars, just because it is so important that we get this corporate money out of politics so that we can get back to being an actual democracy.
So one of the most important issues for me personally is dealing with the climate crisis. So I'm curious about your position on that. I mean, we noted that on your website you don't mention the Green New Deal, which is one of the big topics of conversation around that issue nationally over the past couple of years. So what is your approach dealing with the environment and climate change?
Yeah, so professionally, I actually help people and businesses install solar panels on their homes and their buildings. So climate is very important to me. It's something that I feel that benefits everyone, and so it's a win-win for everyone, right? So that's one of my most important issues, is to prevent what's coming, and to make sure that we're doing everything possible to empower people and businesses to be able to take control of their energy costs, to help the environment, everything. So I'm super passionate about that for sure. I think it's really important.
I want to talk about one other component of your platform too. It's in a section, family and social cohesion. You talk about shorter work weeks, which is something that we've discussed a few times on the show. Yeah. How do you see the work week of the future looking?
Well, as you know, Andrew Yang, one of his big talking points is automation. Now, there are, everybody has their opinion where, okay, AI isn't at that point yet. We have some time to go, but to be completely honest, it doesn't take high level AI to be able to automate a lot of these jobs away. So I think it was Microsoft that did a test in Japan where they implemented a 4-day work week, and productivity actually went up. So there are a lot of things that we'd have to work with. Like obviously we need a higher minimum wage to be able to make up for that gap. But the thing is, people can do more in less time these days and be more fulfilled. Another issue is, Depression and anxiety are all-time highs. The most common cause, like the most common unnatural cause of death, is now overdose and suicide. It used to be car accidents. So we need to do more for our people to kind of alleviate that stress. So if we can be a higher product, like we could be as productive, if not higher production, with a lower work week for our people, I think we should pursue that.
I certainly agree, and I've always been surprised by the amount of pushback you get from a lot of people at the possibility of taking down the work week. I did want to let people know, since unfortunately we have a limited amount of time to delve into all of your platform, that you do have on YouTube, you have an extensive video talking about why you're running for Congress, which is really interesting. I haven't seen a lot of congressional candidates who have something like that available, which provides quite a bit of information. But if people would like to know more about what you're running to do and all of that, where can they find that information?
Yes, my website is just my name, jamesellers.com, last name spelled E-L-L-A-R-S. They can also find me on Twitter @Ellers. So everything's there, links to everywhere. So my website, jamesellers.com.
James Ellers, thank you for coming on the show. It was great getting a chance to get to know you a little better. Perhaps we can check in a little bit further on into the race.
Absolutely, thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.